So Ryan, I am finished decorating for fall. All you have to do is carve the pumpkin.
And we'll be dropping into fall next on Garden Time. Welcome to Garden Time. We're out here at Bauman Farms, and coming up in the show today, we'll be talking to Brian about his fall festival and what's going to be happening to this bad boy.
We'll also be talking about fall clematis care.
We'll also talk about the importance of mulching for fall.
But coming up first, a fall container. Well, just because it's fall doesn't mean you can't have beautiful fall containers. I'm with Sarah at the Division Portland Nursery. And so Sarah, I think this is a great time of year to make a container. What do you think?
I do too. I love making front porch containers this time of year because it just really, sometimes we need that extra little poof
Definitely.
in the fall and winter to give us some happy cheer.
Yeah, and the days are going to maybe be like this, and so we can really kind of create, right?
Yes, I agree. And we've picked quite a few things that give some fall color, and, you know, not necessarily as much color as you're going to get in the spring, but a lot of things like, for example, this camellia is evergreen and winter blooming, so it's one of my favorites for fall planting containers because it gives that upright look. And we've also talked a lot in the past about how different textures can be really important. When you're making a container, if you have everything the same texture, you're not going to be able to tell it apart. So you want different heights, different textures, contrasting colors, or complementing colors. Grasses are great ones to add that different texture if you're not sure what to throw in.
I love the motion too.
Yeah.
Especially on a rainy day, it's really going to be pretty.
Yeah, and
pretty
I
to
think
look
grasses are so, like, we have grasses most of the year, but I think of fall when I think of some of these grasses. And some of these heucheras here, you've got the coloring, but not, you know, maybe not the flower, but these are evergreen that will show this color. And you picked this green one because it's so happy and cheery, and I agree.
Yeah.
I love having something that's just a little bit of color in this time of year.
Definitely, and it is a color spot without having a bloom, but then you have pansies, which are really so smiley this time of year.
Yes, these things are tough.
They
are probably one of the
Very much.
toughest flowers, you know, that they go through the year. Temperatures usually don't bother them. It's usually the moisture.
Yeah.
So like too much water is where they can get into trouble.
Right.
I love the kales.
Yeah, look at this. Isn't it? I mean, you could just put this in one pot. It would be great.
Yeah. The veining on it is really great. And then some of these heathers as well are one of my favorite
Very pretty.
favorite plants to throw in.
And I see you have hellebore, and the hellebores really won't be blooming for a long time, but really it's a thing to look forward to, just like your camellia.
Yeah, I never miss a chance to plug in a hellebore. It's got the evergreen leaves, shade tolerant. Once it outgrows the pot, you can find a home for it in your yard. But yeah, anything that has that winter bloom, I'm such a sucker for. Yeah.
Definitely. And you were talking about sun or shade. Do we have to worry about it as much going into winter?
Not as much going into winter because most of the things that are in full sun aren't getting, you know, the usual summer sun that they would anyway.
Right.
So that's a really good point to bring up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then look at what we have hiding here. We have spring bulbs to put in, which I think is another surprise that they'll come up when you're not expecting it.
Yeah, especially when you have, if you're planting something that is perennial, that will hibernate, these will come up at the opposite time, and it's always such a nice surprise when the bulbs come up and you kind of forget about them by the time they start coming up. So
I think that's so true.
yeah.
And what I love too about your website is that you have a container of the month, so it really kind of helps us get more ideas, and then you actually archive them so that we can go back and see some for more ideas.
We do, and it's one of my favorite things because different staff come up with these different creations.
Oh.
So there's tons of different styles that are unique to the different people that work here. And we do archive it, so it's like, oh, you want to see what's good to plant in September or October. You can go through and see all the things that we typically have in season, since we do have a cyclical season to our inventory.
Oh, that is great. And so I love the idea about the ideas, and they have a great website, has so much information. So please go to gardentime.tv, click over to their website, but go out to the Stark and Division Street Portland Nurseries and get some plants for your fall containers. Sarah, thanks so much.
Thank you.
At Blooming Junction, fall isn't about winding down, it's about getting ready. In the garden, start the next season off right now. Fall plantings produce healthier, more robust, and drought-tolerant plants than those planted in spring or summer. In the kitchen, get ready for the holidays with fresh, organically grown produce from our fields. So, whether it's for the garden or for the kitchen this season, Blooming Junction is your place for quality, uncommon plants and produce for your home and garden.
Every year, trees fall or break, causing property damage, power outages, and injury.
Now is the time for Bartlett Tree Experts and Collier Arbor Care to get your trees ready for the extreme conditions ahead.
Our free consultation will help to spot the signs of potentially hazardous trees.
We can help address problems before they occur. Whether it's trees or shrubs, we can help you get a healthy and beautiful garden.
Collier Arbor Care and Bartlett Tree Experts, providing environmentally safe tree care since 1907.
Find everything you need for fall at Al's Garden and Home.
It's Harvest Festival time. I'm with Brian. We're down at Bauman Farms, and talk about pumpkins.
I mean, when we first started doing this about 10 years ago, and they told me about these giant pumpkins they were going to bring, and I started learning more and more. These guys that bring in these giant pumpkins are serious gardeners, let me tell you. Yeah. And this is a nice sized pumpkin, yeah?
Right.
This is a little over 1,200 pounds. The winning record at our weigh off is over 2,000 pounds.
Wow,
now.
I mean, because this is a legit pumpkin.
Yes, and the winning pumpkin could legitimately be twice the size.
And something's going to happen to this pumpkin today.
Yeah, so believe it or not, like I said, these guys are really serious. This pumpkin has a small, tiny hole in it. So it was disqualified for competition. So the owner of the pumpkin wanted us to take it up in a crane about 75 feet, and we're going to drop it into a giant pool.
And that's happening today, right?
Today at 1 o'clock. So there's plenty of time to come out and see us. The giant pumpkin weigh-off will go all day today. Usually we crown the winner about 3 o'clock, and it's pretty cool. These people have worked all year for this, right. And it's exciting to see.
And you're in the midst of your festival now, and
Yep.
you are in full swing. There's
Yes.
not, in the past, last year you had some restrictions, and
Right.
this year you're right back at it.
Pretty much everything is going up. If you go to baumansharvestfestival.com, you can see a complete list of all the activities and stuff and the prices for those activities. We're following all the state mandates on mask guidance. Inside,
Right.
wear a mask. Outside, as long as you're not within 6 feet, you don't have to. But anytime you're in line or something, we ask that you wear your mask.
And you have, there's a lot of activities to do while you're down here.
I think there's over like 20 activities, and you can spend the entire day here hanging out with the family outside. Last weekend was our first weekend, and it was really, really nice to see everybody back and enjoying things as a family.
There's so much you can do down here with the family. So what are some of the activities you can do with
There's
the
literally enough activities to keep you going all day. From the corn maze to get lost in, we actually have hay mazes in all of our greenhouses and obstacle courses. We try to have something from the little kids for the bounce houses to the bigger kids like our dark maze. So that way there's something for the whole family to do. And of course, the food. From hot dogs and sausages to curly fries and all kinds of those great fall foods that you like to have as a family.
And, you also have, the gift shop is open, the nursery's open.
Yeah, that darn bakery.
But you also have pumpkins.
Pumpkins, so every shape, size, and color you can think of, from the light pink to the dark pink to the blue and gray ones. This is actually a squash called Turk's Turban. Now, all of these make for those really cool fall displays, and it's always nice to decorate your front porch.
Right. And so, there's just so much that you can do to come down here. You got the pumpkin way off today,
Yep.
the drop. You can pick up pumpkins. You can visit the gift shop. You have cider. You have the bakery, produce. It's just keep going and going. So make sure you go to Bauman's website, or you can go to gardentime.tv, and we'll click you open. You can get the flyer. Check off all the activities you're doing. Get your wristband. Come down. Make
come
a
on
day
in
of it.
and hang out.
Make a weekend out of it.
Yep.
Come back multiple times. So make sure you come down to Bauman's and enjoy the full festival of fall. So thanks for having us out today.
Thank you, Ryan.
Garden Time is brought to you by Portland Nursery, a passion for plants, a nursery for plant people.
At Portland Nursery, we believe that gardening is a creative endeavor that enriches our experience, enlivens the spaces around us, and provides a safe haven for the mind. Portland Nursery has everything you need to make your space feel unique, inviting, and exciting. From houseplants and hedges to trees, tools, veggies, and herbs, our selection is always growing and changing, just like you. Come visit us today at 50th and Stark, 90th and Division.
Fall in the Northwest is
the best time of year to plant, with warmer soils and cooler evenings.
A time to spend with family and friends.
Fall is a time to celebrate.
To decorate.
And to enjoy the colors that are only found here in our area.
Fall is a time to come to Garland Nursery.
And let us show you all that fall can be.
Garland Nursery, inspiring beautiful and bountiful gardens.
Find everything you need for fall at Al's Garden and Home.
I'm out here today with Linda. We're out at the Rogerson and Clematis. And Linda, you know, this time of year is a great time to be getting Clematis and getting them in the ground.
Yeah, fall is really planting season for these guys. So as soon as we've had some rain and your soil is really workable, if it's comfortable for you to be outside planting, it's comfortable for your Clematis to be planted. And I want to give folks some tips about what to look for when they're shopping for a new Clematis. And this is one that we're going to have for sale. This is Claire de Lune. And we've done some really intensive pinching on this. So you've got 2 stems coming up, which 2 is better than 1.
Right.
When you plant this, you're going to take off these lower leaves and bury those notes that are right at the ground.
Okay.
And this one is also going to bloom.
Right, you can already see the bud
yeah,
on the top.
the buds look terrific. You're going to want to enjoy those buds in the pot before you plant.
Oh, really? Okay.
If you try to plant it when the buds are on there, they may collapse because being transplanted is stressful. You're always going to damage some of the feeder roots when you slide it out of the pot. And speaking of roots, the other thing that you want to be able to do is to see roots coming out the drainage holes. If you pick up a Clematis plant and it's got 1 spindly stem and it doesn't have roots coming out the drainage hole, it's not ready to go in the ground. And you want to buy Clematis that are ready to go in the ground. But that said, you're going to stress out trying to plant a plant that's about to bloom. And it's going to stress the plant because no matter how careful you are, you're damaging feeder roots when you slide it out of the pot. So it's really better to enjoy it in bloom in the pot and then plant it when it's done blooming. And you can just deadhead it, just cut it back, you know, that far and put it in the ground. But you want to avoid transplant shock, both for you and for the Clematis.
And so, and you have a sale going on today for people that are shopping for
Right,
Clematis.
from 10 to 2. And we have a few specials. I'm only going to tell you about one of them. The one we have the most of is HF Young, which is a beautiful light blue, large flowered hybrid. It flowers very well in the spring. It flowers from the ground up, but it's really too big to go into a container. And then it has excellent rebloom throughout the rest of the summer and even into the fall. And so we have other specials, but I don't want to mention those because our members got to shop last night. But that's a benefit of membership, that whenever we have a big sales event, they get to come in and do a happy hour shopping the day before.
Right. And you know, and speaking on some of the maintenance on Clematis, you know, some people, you know, had some, you know, heat damage from this summer. So what do we need to be looking for?
The common heat damage you see, and there's a little bit here on this particular plant, is what we call a heat coma, and it affects the apical, the apex, the top bud on a stem. A healthy Clematis should have an active bud with a flower bud forming or new leaves forming. And we're talking about the final bud at the very end of the stem. So in this case, it's been deadheaded because this just bloomed. But we have this, and I'm going to cut it off, which is what you should do when you see it. you have this little stunted bud. And in some cases, it starts out looking like this. It covered itself with little hairs to reflect the heat away, and then it just sat there. You pinch that off whenever you see it.
And then it'll rejuvenate.
And it'll rejuvenate. That's a good opportunity also if you want to cut off more stem, because it's gotten a little bit, the plant's gotten a little bit out of control. You don't have to just go back one node. This one you would, because it's a short stem. Right. But if you have taller stems that end with the heat coma, and that's a term that Brewster Rogerson came up with. I'm sure there's a botanical technical term somewhere that I haven't found yet. But if you want to take off more stem, that's a great opportunity to do that. You're the one, you're the decider. In this case, you've got the opposable thumbs and the clippers. You decide how much you want to take off.
So it's it's a great time of year to come out. Make sure you come visit Linda down here today. And pick up a clematis for your yard. And learn some tips and tricks about what you need to be doing for some maintenance for the ones that you have in your yard or from this heat in the summer. So, Linda, it's always a pleasure to be out here.
Thank you, Ryan.
And, make sure you come down today and visit Linda and pick up a clematis for your yard. So, thanks for having us.
You're welcome.
Garden Time's Incredible Edibles.
It is pear season, and where else to be but Smith Berry Barn with Joelle, and we love coming, and it smells so wonderful in here.
Thank you.
And so you have a recipe for us, because pears are really lovely to cook with. We usually do apple recipes, but pears, what a difference.
Exactly. You can use pears in a lot of the same ways that you can apples. Today we're going to be doing a caramelized pear. It's a very simple recipe. It's just pears and a little bit of sugar and spice in a saucepan. Super quick to make and very, very elegant. Today we are showcasing all of the different kinds of pears that we have here on the farm. We have some Bartlett, we have some red Bartlett, we have Anjou pears, and we have Comice pears.
Okay.
So today we're doing Bartlett pears.
And Bartlett are really so versatile because you can use them so many different ways.
Exactly. You can can these. They're perfect for canning. Fresh eating, obviously, and then any kind of baking or any kind of dessert, really.
And also then with the other two, the Comice and the Anjou, those are nice keepers?
They are. Comice is our latest variety. Bartlett is our earliest variety. We harvest it starting in late August. We are still picking them, and we do have you-pick on them, as well as in our cooler. We have them ready picked for people who want to buy them in, already picked. Comice is the one that will last all the way through Christmas and is an excellent dessert pear, so it's one of our favorites.
So save these recipes till then.
Exactly.
And so you're just peeling and coring the pears pretty easy?
I'm peeling, I am quartering and taking the core out carefully. And then basically all we're going to be doing is putting it in a pan of butter and sauteing it for a few minutes on all sides. And then we'll add a little bit of sugar and then pour the sugar over it, and we're going to eat it with a little ice cream.
I love easy recipes, and you always make it look so easy too. And to go back a little bit about the ripening, we talked about it on Garden Time a few weeks ago, but you also have a great kind of cheat sheet on your website.
We do. So if you go to our website, we have a how to ripen pears properly. And basically it's just that they require some chilling once they're picked. So straight off the tree, they'll go into a cooler or your refrigerator. And then once you're ready to use them, you'll take them out of the refrigerator and you ripen them on the counter for a few days before they get fully ripe.
And really, there's a difference. I mean, if you want to do that experiment at home, we did it with Garden Time, and it's just unbelievable because they taste perfect that way.
And a ripe pear is amazing, and it's so different from an unripe pear.
Yes. You're like, what have I been missing all these years?
It's like cutting into butter when it's ripe, and it tastes almost like butter.
Mm-hmm. And now, Joelle's going to finish up the recipe, and we'll be right back. Well, Joelle, that looks delicious and smells delicious, so please recap what you did here.
So basically, we just browned some butter, and we sauteed the apples on about three sides, about 5 minutes each, and then we put some sugar and spices over the top, and mixed it all together, tossed it a little bit, and now we have these fabulously cooked pears with this yummy, yummy, yummy spiced butter sauce.
Nice.
A little ice cream necessary.
Of course. And then I see 2 other recipes go in, and so what else did you make?
So we also did some cobbler. We did a spiced pear cobbler. So much like an apple cobbler, but we did put some spices in our cobbler topping, make it a little bit more seasonal. And then we're also doing some pear butter in our crock pot. We did this last year with our apples, and so we decided to try it this year with our pears.
Nice, nice.
Excited to see how that turns out.
Speaking of pear butter, though, you do have it for sale at the store, so in case we don't want to make it.
Exactly. We have our pear butter and our apple butter for sale, always in the store. We also have all of the spices that you would need for any of the recipes, and all of the recipes are on our website as well.
Nice. And then all the gadgets, because sometimes you do need that special gadget. It makes your life so much easier when you're working.
Yes, we don't need too many gadgets for pears, but we do have a lot of things for apples, particularly the apple peeler slicer, a lot of pie baking things as well.
Nice. And then tell us about what's going on at the farm. What can we come out for this
So
weekend?
right now we're doing You Pick and our pears and apples, and 'tis the season. So as soon as they are, they'll be available until they're sold out, until they're picked out. So you'll want to go to our website, check our availability. We do have reservations required for our You Picking right now. So you go to our website, check each day to see what's available for picking, and then you can come on out.
And also the recipes are there, the ripening guide is there. It's a great website, always all kinds of recipes. If you miss the tomatoes, it's there too. So please go to gardentime.tv and you can click over to their website and come out and enjoy Smithberry Barn. Thanks so much.
Thank you, thank you.
Garden Time is brought to you by Capital Subaru, your way on the Parkway.
Welcome to the brand new Capital Subaru.
We've taken a big step forward.
We've built one of the most unique Subaru dealerships in the U.S.
And we know you're going to love it.
There's so much to see and do here, like shop at our exclusive pet store.
And unwind in one of our amazing new lounge spaces.
Or race through the obstacle course at our new dog park.
This place is pretty stinking cool.
It's time to discover again, with over 72,000 square feet just for you.
Capital Subaru, your way on the Parkway.
Is your garden getting tired? Don't let your garden fizzle out because of the summer heat. Stop by Bauman Farms for a refresher in summer color. We carry a great selection of plants that love the summer. Give your garden the splash of color that it deserves. Your outdoor entertaining will be more enjoyable when you are surrounded by beautiful plants, wonderful flowers, and great fragrance. Let us show you what a summer garden should be. Bauman Farms, just east of Salem, off Highway 22 at the Joseph Street exit.
Since 1929, Grimm's Fuel has powered great gardens around our area. With our comprehensive composting and yard debris services, we can apply quality garden mulch, compost, and blended soils with our experienced crews and trucks, including our landscape rock and bark products as well. We are proud of our industry-leading state-of-the-art composting facilities. We also can take care of your fuel oil and firewood needs. Grimm's Fuel, building great gardens since 1929.
To bring the extraordinary colors of fall to your landscape, you need to come to a place that offers more than the ordinary. At Sagawa Nursery, we love fall. From brilliant yellows to vibrant reds, we have one of the Northwest's largest selections of Japanese maples. At Sagawa Nursery, we also have a colorful selection of hardy plants, so your home can be as beautiful as the season. Come visit us and see how we can help you make your season extraordinary. Sagawa Nursery, growing beyond the ordinary.
I'm out at Grimm Fuel Company with Jeff Grimm, and Jeff, I see you guys are blowing out some compost for the fall, and so why is it such a good time to do that?
Oh, it's a good idea to put the mulch out this time of year to help protect the plants and the root systems from the winters that is right around the corner. We're liable to get some cold temperatures, and those a layer of mulch will help keep those things warm and keep the plants from getting damaged. Also, this time of year with all the rains that we're starting to have finally, it helps with the erosion control. The rain comes down and hits soil, and if you don't have something on there, you get the rain impacts the soil and it starts washing it away. If you have a layer of compost down there, it helps protect that soil and keep it from eroding.
Yeah, you know, also you do get so much compaction. It's nice to have it down there to get some extra, extra soil there.
That's true, and the macronutrients that are in the compost that we're blowing We're installing garden mulch compost. It's a yard all organic compost made from the stuff that comes into our yard debris recycling center today. So it's loaded with macro and micronutrients, and that will help as the rains leach down through that. Some of those micronutrients will leach into the soil and be absorbed by the plants and help feed the plants throughout the winter, and then into the spring give them a head start. We can also install other products like the traditional bark dusts and stuff like that also.
Yeah, you really have a big array of different kind of mulches and bark mulches to put down. So really coming out, and you have the samples there that you can see all the different kind of supplies.
Yeah, we have the hemlocks that are sliver free. You can get those in a reddish brown color that's kind of traditional, or the dark brown shades. Also the fir bark dust, which is a little more budget conscious. It's a little less expensive than the hemlocks. And all those things will give the same benefits with the exception of the macronutrients. The bark dust, they don't really have a lot of micronutrients in them, but it still gives you that protection.
Yeah, and it looks so nice, and really weed protection or weed prevention too. It's really something in suppression.
That's a good point. And what we've done here, we've cleaned up all the beds. We put down a pre-emergent so that those weed seeds that we haven't, are still in the soil, and we couldn't get out, are still in there. And as soon as we get a little bit more rain, those guys are going to want to start germinating. And so we put down the pre-emergent to keep that from happening and give us some protection from the weeds for the coming months.
Yeah, and so you guys do come out. I mean, we can hire you to come out to my house and blow everything. I don't have to be shoveling it, which is a really nice service.
Yeah, it's great, especially for old guys with bad backs like myself. Yeah, we have the U-Haul Center here in Tualatin where people can come up and pick up their pickup load of their own mulch or their own bark dust, or we can deliver it in bulk, dump it in your driveway, and you do all the work, or we can get the blower trucks out and you don't have to do anything but sit back and watch them work.
Well, it's nice to have it all done. I mean, we're all busy people now, so it's really nice to call, make an appointment with your company and have them come out.
Yeah, it's a great service. It's a great way to go.
Jeff, speaking of the weather change, you have another product that a lot of people can use.
Yeah, we also have firewood. We got some nice, well-seasoned fir and mixed wood. That's a mix of maple, alder, and fir. And it's well-seasoned, ready to go, stored under cover. And we have lots and lots of that's ready to go, along with our home heating oils for people with that need the home heating oils.
You can go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to Grimm's website, and you can call them up and get all the information. Jeff, thanks so much. It's really been interesting.
Thanks for coming out. And thanks for bringing the nice weather with you, too.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Thank you for watching Garden Time. Don't forget to come out to Bauman Farm today at 1 o'clock and watch this guy fall from the skies.
And for more information about what's happening out at the festival at Bauman Farm and Garden, please go to gardentime.tv. Ryan and I thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week here on Garden Time.
The proceeding was a paid program of the Guston Creative Group and its sponsors.